Welcome to another Plan 6 parts video. Today's video, headrests. This is part, I don't know what part I'm even on at this stage now, of seat covers. Oh well, it's the headrest part. Okay, going to our headrests. This one is already done, so I'm going to show you how we get them looking nice and good. It's not hard actually. If you got your kit, obviously here's what your headrest looks like with nothing on it. It looks like I don't know what it looks like, it looks terrible. Anyway, this one, again, I'm not restoring these. I basically just stripped it across and just took out the staples in the bottom and that's it. It's, I don't necessarily have to do it. Here's the foam. Sorry, I put it on the underfelt here. Now it looks like a sheep. Here's the foam you get for the headrest. Here's the cover. The only thing about this is putting it in is if you notice the cover does have, there is actually a front and back. If you look at the side, it is actually shaped. So obviously the bigger part goes to the front. And again, so it overlaps. The lip overlaps. So all we're going to do is make sure our foam, as you can see, is the same. There's a front and a back. To say they match up. Now we're just going to shove it in there. There's no great technique at getting it in there other than squeeze. Once you get it in, you just basically you're going to put your hands in and make sure she's all cornered up. Get in there. Now you don't need any spray glue for this at all. You'll find that when you take it off, it looks like it's spray glued on, but all honestly, you don't need it. Because the worst thing about it is, though, because that's so finicky. I say finicky. Sorry, I'm probably out of camera trying to get this in. But so finicky and trying to get the foam to line up. If you put glue in there, once it sort of stays and you're a little off, well, you're stuck with it. At least this way you have a bit of time to just play around and make sure all the corners line up as best you can. I said there's no great way of doing this. But then this is the best way of actually, well, to say this is the best way of doing it is to put this in first. Because I've tried all the other way and yeah, it's not an easy way of doing it. Alright, so now that we're looking good, it's looking pretty good already, which is the way you want it. So make sure you're happy with the edges to make sure it pretty much lines up. Again, because you're not using the glue, you can always just put your finger in and pull the foam a bit and make sure it sits down. Next one is just to put this in. Again, this is shaped for the front, so make sure we follow it. The only trick I can tell you to this is when you put it in, is put one side in, let's say halfway, and pull it. To get each side down, you pull it and then push it the opposite side down. Because the last time I've done it where you put it in and you rip the foam. So go in, pull, push down, pull, push down. When you're down to the bottom, the foam will basically come up to here. I don't know if you've seen that, but I'll just lie level with. Alright, one side all the way in. Now, as you can see, I have one side in because it's pretty much level with the wood there. So all I do is put my hand in, just make sure I pull up the rest of the foam with my hand, and then I'm going to go to the other side and make sure I do the same, because sometimes it actually is all the way in, but just that last little bit is not sticking up and you have to pull it up by hand. Okay, so looking pretty good. Make sure all the edges are up. Sorry if I'm doing this out of camera. It's hard to hold out at the same time. Alright, so before we go any further, we obviously want to make sure then the foam is sort of as level it is as it can be. Try to get up any pinched foam. It's sticking down. Obviously the more that comes up the better. Alright. So once we get to this stage, we can have a look at it. Say, oh, looks good. That's it. Now the next part is getting this on. So you will need either a scissors or a little X-Acto knife, because in the middle here, I should have shown you before, is the wood. And if you took it apart, sorry, I'm not showing you here, is the wood. I know it's a little dark, sorry. Let me turn the camera around here. Hopefully a bit brighter. Ah, looks better. Should have done this to begin with. So as you can see, the wood, basically you're gonna staple in these here, and then the screws to go in at the end. So when we do, we want to make sure that we line up where it's going to be. Take the scissors and take a little step. Do you have to do this part? No, you don't have to. But I find it makes a bit of a difference to make it sit down better. So I've taken just a little snip out. Enough so when I pull it down, it allows it just to go around the bar. Just enough. I'm going to do the same with the front. But before I do the front, I'm going to staple on the back. Is there a set order to do this? I'm going to say no. If you look at it, the back one really overlaps the front. If it's any better here. The back one really overlaps the front. To be honest, it's a little irrelevant, because by the time you put the metal piece on, you don't see it anyway. So I've done the back, I'll stay with the back. So what you will need is a stapler. I use one of these. I use this for a lot of the vinyl stuff I do. It takes T50 staples. Yeah, get them in any hardware shop or Staples, even Walmart, I think. They're a good little stapler. They're good for doing vinyl stuff. Alright. Alright, I want to show. I know I've done it out of shot, I want to show you. What I done was, the first piece I done was when I folded it over, pulled it in, I made sure to pull the edge inwards. Only reason why is that if you start from the middle, it will actually kink on you. So start from the outside and then work your way in. So as you can see, I get a nice finish here. I'll do the same. I'm just going to stretch it just enough. I don't have to overstretch it. Like, the less I stretch it, the better. Just enough that I know it's over the wood. Keep a finger on it. And a staple. There we go. Do the same with the opposite side. So again, the less you pull it, the better. When I say pull, like I said, the less you pull this direction, it should just be enough on it. It's only enough just to make sure the staple goes in. Okay. And now I'm going to do the same for the front. The front is a bit more of a stretch. Going to be a bit more, but again, I'm going to do the exact same. Now, do you have to again? No, you don't have to. As long as you know it lines up, it's still gonna. Sorry, I keep going out of focus. It still goes. It will sit up if you don't. That's why I put the little tiny nick in it, just to let it pass. But I can make it sit down a bit better. Sorry, I'm doing this out of camera because it's hard to hold in front. So again, just a little nick. Alright, let's do the same again. So I'm holding it. Oh, I don't know if I missed the button. You'll know if you miss because it goes into wood, or it goes into metal. Alright, got it that time. So as you can see, the better finish you can do here. Remember, if it doesn't look great, remember it's only staples. That's what I said about no glue. It's only staples. You can always take a staple out and redo it again. Sorry, I'm just trying to hold it for myself here. It's hard to hold and yet be in front of the camera at the same time. Oops, I missed it altogether. Oof. When I say it easy, it's easy, but it's hard when you're trying to do it in front of the camera. Okay. So, I just have the one in it. I'll put another one in now. You can see staples holder. So now when I push this down, like I said, I'll get a bit of a piece sticking up. What I can do is I can either sit it up and cut it, or else tuck it inside out. So if you've seen that, sorry, you may have missed it. The tail at the back was sticking up because I nicked it. All I'm gonna do is push it, turn it inside out, and shove it in. So I just turned it inside out and push it down, because then when the metal comes up, it will sit up a lot easier. I'll do the same for the front. I need to put one more staple in on the outside just to make sure. Okay. Now, how's that look? Looking good. The last part is the simplest. We have our metal. Now, the metal that comes with this, most of them are usually painted black or come black. You can obviously color code them. The nicest way to do it is to put vinyl on it. So if you have a bit of vinyl that's spare for the same color, wrap it around it. But it is hard. I did try one of these before, and I found that getting it around the corners was very hard. You have to put a lot of V's in it to get it, and I found that the more you put in it, it starts to creep back over the corner. So if you're going to get these done, maybe give it to somebody who actually has a better vinyl machine. Give it a try. You've nothing to lose. Worst case, it doesn't work. Hey, take it off and spray it. But in general, they all come black. So this one I left black because I was going to spend a lot of time doing it. And the last thing to do is to put the screws in. Some screws in. Again, it's just basically reverse. If you've taken it apart, it should be straightforward, because you're basically just doing reverse of what you've done. These screws are a little bigger than the originals. Sometimes they don't go too big. I'll just tighten it down enough till you almost start to hit the word crunch, not over tight. And there we go. So see, it's a nice clean finish underneath. That's why I tucked it in, so I don't have a tail sticking out. And there you go. Nice, plush, beautiful. That's it. Now it's ready for the seats. That's it. Any comments, questions, concerns? Usual, give me a shout. If you want me to do anything, let me know. I know as I do get asked to do videos. I can only get around to a certain point. I have a few to do, and hopefully I have one more part now to do on the seats where I am now. I've only really to start putting the hardware on the back, and that's one done. And I will do another video on the foam of the front, because apparently somebody told me that I spent a lot of time out of camera doing it. So I'm going to do the next seat, I'm going to do again, except I'm going to do a much slower step by step, and probably a more of a dry run than an actual spray job. Well, glue job, should I say. So that's it. So again, thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and yeah, see you in the next part.